This is how I started my six-figure business as a 20-year-old college student. So in this video, I'm going to be explaining kind of my backstory with it. So if there's any maybe hidden gems or maybe tips you can take from this, let me know down below in the comments what you get from this video. And this is our current sub count right now. So be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel before we dive into this. So for those that are new to the channel, my name is Josue Muñiz and I own and operate a social media agency by the name of Sway Media Management. So how did this all start? This all started at my old college, Dallas Baptist University. I enrolled into the college and attended my first year in 2020, which was kind of at the height of the pandemic. And I barely finished now this past May. I graduated with a dual bachelor's degree. Now, if you're in college or if you've ever gone to school, you know school can be stressful, you know school can be time consuming. So again, this wasn't an easy journey at all. So if you're a student, maybe you can relate to this and take some tips and maybe some hidden gems from this as well. So it started when I enrolled in college, and going into college, I had really only worked maybe 2 or 3 real world jobs. I remember I worked at a construction store and other places like that. But when I got into college, I had no intention of starting my own business or really what that would look like. I had no idea. So I came into college as a 17-year-old freshman, not knowing a clue about anything that I'm doing now. So I came in and right off the bat, my parents told me, you're gonna need to get a job. You know that, right? So I was like, oh yeah, of course. So one of the first and easiest jobs that you can get there at the school I was at is landscaping, which I think is pretty similar to any other school. You can get that job pretty easily. And so I applied for landscaping. I literally got it the exact same day and I started working the exact same day. So that was kind of my freshman year. I started working for the grounds crew or landscaping. So I was outside literally doing the hardest labor in the world. Like, it is labor, because if you ever been to my campus or my old school's campus, it is pristine, it is perfect. So they were really on top of us and we worked long hours in the sun. It was actual labor. So we were cutting grass, mowing yards, we were planting trees, you know, all the good stuff. And then it wasn't until my sophomore year where I quit that job and I applied for an inside, you know, AC chill job at IT. Both of these jobs, keep in mind, are at DBU, Dallas Baptist University. They're jobs on campus, so I was technically a student worker. And so I worked at IT for around the same time for about a year, and it was a lot more chill. I actually really enjoyed it. I made a lot of good friends there. But I will say this, about my grounds job and the jobs I had before that, before going to college, and even with the IT job, I just felt that there was something missing. Right, I felt like I could be doing more. I felt like maybe my skills and talents weren't being used in the way that I wanted them to be used. And so I always felt that sense of doing more, right? So I worked at IT, made a lot of good friends. It was a lot of fun. But again, I always felt like something was missing. And so I actually remember, and kind of a crazy story, I remember it was with me and my roommate. We would lift pretty much every day. We would go to the gym and lift. And one day we just got the idea of, oh, what if we just start filming, right? Like making TikToks, making videos, just putting a camera on a tripod and just, you know, having fun with it. So we did that, and I stayed pretty consistent with it. He just kind of, you know, started doing his own thing. He had work also, but I was just like, okay, I'm gonna keep going. And it actually ended up growing, you know, pretty good and pretty fast. Had some, you know, viral videos that took off, so that helped a lot. But keep in mind, I'm still working at IT, and about maybe 3 weeks into doing this whole video thing, and it's not anything crazy, it was just my phone on a tripod, I get the idea of, what if I quit these were part-time jobs that I had always worked. I never worked a full-time job before because I've always been a student, and I was 17 at the time, or 18 now in my sophomore year at IT. And I got the idea, what if I quit my IT job and go just full-time into this whole content deal? Keep in mind, I'm a part-time worker, I'm a student worker at DBU, right, Dallas Baptist. So I don't have thousands of dollars in my bank. I barely have any money in my bank. You know what I'm saying? So, and again, don't get the misconception. Like, I was never hungry. Like, I never grew up without clothes or shoes or food on my table. My parents always took care of me, but we have never been rich, right? Like, my parents have never been rich. We've never been rich as a family. I come from parents who came to the States at 17. So keep in mind, like, although I never starved, although I never had no clothes to wear or shoes on my feet, I was never rich, right? So same thing in college. I had less money now in college, but you know, I could always call my parents and they would always, okay, yeah, we can help you out with this and this and this, right? But there comes a point, and you know this, that, you know, you want to start making your own money. You don't want to be calling your parents or depending on your parents, right? So I get the idea, what if I quit IT and just go full dive into this content thing? This was a time when because this is now a year ago, where this is a time where you know, content was kind of booming. Like YouTube was going, TikTok was huge. So I was just like, let me get on this, right? So I remember telling all my coworkers, my boss, like, bro, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this full time. No one really believed me. Like, they were just like, oh yeah. Maybe like one or two were like, yeah, bro, you got this. Like, genuine. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Like, see who's genuine when you share your dreams and goals with them. And yeah, they were just like, oh yeah, you got this, bro. Yeah. But like, I knew they didn't believe in me type deal. So I did it. I quit. And then that's when I bought my first camera. I'll pop it up right here. It was a Sony ZV-1 little vlogging camera. I did research on it. I was like, I need this one. So I bought it and it was good, right? Like I grinded it out. I had no money still. Like, that camera took even more of my money. And the thing with content, when you get into content making, you're not gonna make money right away. And there's this quote that if you don't love what you're doing, especially content, you're gonna burn out because you're not gonna make money off of it right away. So you have to love what you're doing. You have to love making videos. You have to love recording. You have to love editing. At least in the beginning. If you want to last in this content game as a content creator, video creator, whatever you label yourself as, right? So you have to love it. And I loved it because to this day I haven't stopped, even when I wasn't making money off of it. You know what I'm saying? If you don't love it and you're just in it for a potential check or a potential fame or popularity, you're gonna burn out. You know what I'm saying? You have to love it for the love of it, not for what it brings or what it can bring or what it can become, if that makes sense. So I did that. I did it for a couple of months. I went hard, started growing. It was tough at first, not gonna lie. Like, my parents gave me not a hard time, but you know, it was understandable that they were questioning my decisions. I even questioned my decision looking back now, like, dang, that was super risky. Like, I quit my part-time job. Keep in mind, I'm a college student, right? Like, I don't have a full-time job. I'm paying tuition, like, you know what I'm saying? Paying housing, like, I got stuff to pay, and I quit my part-time job to do content full-time. But I grinded. I was recording, asking people to record for me. You know, really just getting on that grind. And it was about 4 months into my content that this idea of starting a business came into my mind. And it came from the first partner that I ever got. I didn't know they were gonna be my partner then, but it came from the first partner I ever got. It was a family friend who reached out, and they just kind of saw the content that I was doing, kind of saw what I was, you know, had rolling, and they were like, oh, like, you know, you make videos and stuff like that. I was like, yeah. And so they were a leader in the church, and they reached out and they were like, could you make me videos, right? Could you, you know, make me sermon videos, whatever it is. And I was like, oh yeah, I got you. So boom, we got to work. I made reels for them, you know, YouTube videos, created new channels for them. And that was literally, without me knowing, the start of the business that I have now, the agency that I have now. So I got to work with them. Eventually, you know, became official, put payment behind the work. And now they're still my partner from all this time. But that was my first ever partner that I had. And then from there, now we have all the partners that we have with the agency now. But the thing with that is, when I got my first partner, and even when I got my second, I still, and this is maybe something you can take from this, or one thing I regret is not having the team that I have now earlier. And it didn't come down to not having enough money to pay them. I just didn't know, right? Like, I had no intention. I'm not a business major. I'm now studying in my master's, a business degree. But in my undergrad, like, I had no business background. My parents don't have business background. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just wasn't in that world. So I didn't know about like hiring employees and all that. But now that I have employees and people that work for the company, I look back and I'm like, wow, I wish I had this when I first started with my first partner. And the way that you do that, and I explained it in a previous video, the first YouTube video, if you want to go watch that, I dive into detail on how to build a team and get people that believe in you, right? Because as a video creator, as a content creator, entrepreneur, business owner, whatever you are, you need people around you. You cannot do this by yourself if you want to grow. That's the key. If you want to grow, you cannot do this by yourself. So that's one thing that I look back and I probably would have changed. I probably would have had people earlier around me to help me, you know, maybe even scale this bigger now, or you know what I'm saying? So yeah, over time I got more partners. I developed a team around me, and now we work daily, you know, to create content for all these partners. We do media days, we do just a bunch of stuff, right? We create content, edit content. So it's been a really fun ride. But keep in mind, throughout all of this, I was a college student, and I'm still a college student who is now doing their master's, which is more of a workload, it's more strenuous. But through it all, the way I've been able to manage the stress, the workload, avoid burnout, is having people around me, right? That's one of the key takeaways from this video, is having people around me, managing my time wisely, managing my finances wisely, and just creating structures and systems that work. And if you want to know what some of those structures and systems that I've built around this company and myself, let me know down below and I will drop a video on that as well. This video is also to just, if you're a college student and you're probably watching this because maybe you're a college student, maybe you're a business owner, video creator, entrepreneur, whatever it is, you can do this, right? I know it feels like whatever you're trying to achieve is so far away, but literally your life can change in a matter of months. And I'm a result of that. I'm a result of just putting my head down and focusing on my work, right? Focusing on perfecting my craft, focusing on being there for my team, focusing on being there for my partners, right? Your life can change in a matter of months, no matter what anyone tells you. Like, success can either, take years, or it can take months. It just depends how much work you're willing to put. And again, everyone's journey looks different. So I urge you, if the reason you're watching this is because you want to do something similar or something completely different, just don't quit, don't stop. You got this. You can manage it, because it has been done and it will continue to be done. So thank you guys so much for watching the video. Let me know if you want more videos like this, and let me know down below in the comments if you want a deeper dive into the systems and the day-to-day behind my business and what that looks like. Love y'all, and we'll catch y'all next week.